Let's start off with a quick word about the support this album received so far. There was a lot of positive vibes for this album, which honestly surprised me. I always had a bit of the notion that it tends to fall a bit under the radar, but apparently not. As you can kind of see, there was a lot of appreciation. Very nice to see all of your takes on this. Today's song is gonna be Blast of Hell. I think it's another one of those I tend to mix up with other similar heavy songs like, for example, Heavy Curse or Fate of Sadness. I think it's those three actually, which tend to have a similar idea of heaviness. But nonetheless, let's rip open the gates of hell for a bit. Forget everything I've said earlier about the heavier songs. I think they took that blast thing a bit too literally. It's actually a very nice melody again. So that's almost ridiculously heavy. I mean, if you do something like that, you almost certainly have to be aware of the fact that you're pretty over the top with this. But again, with a song called Blast of Hell in caps lock, that should actually be the norm, I suppose. And yet still, I was kind of surprised how nuanced this style is constructed. It's not only heavy, it has some pretty nice melodic elements, but you have this also very noticeably ugly sounding verse. Yamabi is just shouting in there with some type of melody. I don't even know if it's like harmonically aligning or anything, but it certainly doesn't sound good in that sense. And it gets even worse in the second iteration when Shu joins in the background. I do think it's Shu. But yeah, just this constant stream of blast beat we have for a very prolonged section actually in the beginning. This is very effective to transfer this idea of a blast of something evil, I guess. Has a kind of chanting character almost. And then we switch to this very beautiful little melody. So we have this, I do think, warrior type guy who's like walking against the stream of this blast of hell. That's what it feels like, right? We have this, not only the blast beat by the drums, but like the whole instrumentation creates this very intense, chaotic stream, and like he's standing the ground against that. We have a very abrupt start of the chorus. This establishes a bit of a hectic feeling. And I think also the melody does feel a bit lazy and rushed in some way, which I always assume is kind of intentional, supports this hectic, chaotic character. It creates an interesting dynamic. And then we had some interesting switches. I think it was a post-chorus. You keep bringing in choirs in the background. It's a bit of an eye of a storm, right? So, a bit of a calm spot. I might remember this incorrectly, but I think it's been quite a while since we had a very energetic power metal-esque song in this kind of style. You just get this intense amount of energy from this very fast pace, especially in the drums. I think they do a lot here. Maybe it's even composed by the drummer. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. But what I also like during the chorus type sections are these very fast gallops we have here. It feels like it's been quite a while since we had this type of stuff. So it's really appreciated. Oh, do you hear the drums? Oh, okay. Oh, of course. Guitar solo also. That was almost a bit painful to stop here because it has just such a nice swing and flow here. I do think that speaks a lot for how phenomenal those transitions are as well. That just felt like butter, but we have to talk about the solo because that was, again, we had a solo as in the last song, maybe even more so, which has just a level of polish which we haven't heard before. To a point where I was completely satisfied after hearing that keyboard solo, and then we still had a guitar part afterwards following. This was a really nice journey. I think we have to look into that again. There's no way around this. From the very beginning, we had a lot of there was a lot of stuff with the double pedals going on. And then here it gets really loud. You know what this reminds me of? Whatever It Takes. I think there they had a breakdown, which I think was a little compact version, but they also had this idea with this strike in the beginning with a lot of reverb and stuff, and just this very intense breakdown. It's interesting to see that this is actually where it seems to originate, and it of course always seems to be connected with a theme of hell. So this might be kind of a generally established idea of like how to portray the depths of hell. A lot of love for the general production of this. It sounds just really good. And all those noises also. We had a bit of that in Beyond the End of Despair. I love the keyboard sound here and the effects. He has figured out his with the wah pedal at this point. And this sounds so comically evil. I love it. I think here we have a bit of conflict between the dark and the light, I suppose. We had these two descending runs. So cool. And again, we don't have to unnecessarily bloat this. I pretty much loved everything about this. To like my own surprise, there's a lot of nice songs I love very much, but I didn't remember this one to be that intricate. Like if every song of this album is like this, you couldn't wish for anything else, honestly. There in the end with the outro, very nice. Bit of a symmetrical structure. We ended with this choral type of thing here. We had established that in the very beginning, you know, and since they're singing together, or at least there's several layers of Yamabi singing, it has this war battle-like union type of feeling, which I think we hadn't had that much for quite a while now. Also goes back again to this earlier trilogy where there was a lot of this classic battle between light and dark forces. It's cool that it ends with this union type of stuff, and of course in the transitions there was a lot of really cool stuff. I liked how they doubled and repeated certain things to transition into several stages or to irritate a bit, and then they just had these really loud sound effects they just put into there. It also really creates this feeling of a battlefield in some sense. And of course, I could listen to fast double pedals probably like all day. I don't know what it is exactly, but there really would be something missing without that. And this is precisely why I love this type of metal. I mean, this transition just was really fun because we had this one run only with the guitar, and then we had another run where all instruments were joined. It was unexpected in the best kind of way. Yeah, they had a lot of fun with that keyboard wah, which is of course very fitting also, and just how they repeated that phrase in the very end, while then leaving out the actual last note, which is expected at the end of the song. It's just very fun. And as mentioned in the beginning, there were a lot of comments. Just again, many of them show that you have a lot of appreciation for this album. Then there was another longer comment about this very first song we had listened to last week. This song is quite rare in Galneryus, and the title is in Japanese. Also, there is Kizuna and Inori. The last one I don't even know actually. In addition, it is also unusual for songs with only Japanese lyrics to be included in like at the beginning of the album, basically. Yeah, I think it's rather rare to have a full song at the beginning of the album in general, because usually there's an intro, and yeah, of course afterwards. We don't have many like full Japanese songs. There's sometimes a mixture, but I think this is the very first song I've heard which is completely in Japanese. For songs that shine in Japanese, the lyrics are also written by Shu, which would imply that they're usually not written by Shu. Like, that's what this implies to me, that it's not usually written by Shu. If you know anything about that, please tell me. This album is the longest song by song in the past, and there's no instrumental. If I understand this correctly, it's either the longest album so far, or it has the highest average song length or something. And there's no instrumental. Yeah, I think we can see that. In addition, it is a unique album in a sense because you can feel the direction of gothic heaviness and its industrial reality. I think that's a pretty cool description, and I'm very excited how much of that we will actually still see. And we have seen a lot of the heaviness so far. And then we also have something, and this we've heard quite a lot there. Hi Sam, who mentioned that this is their favorite album of the Yamabe era, and it has been unfairly overlooked compared to other albums. Most of the songs in it do not even have live video versions. Pretty sad, but it is truly a wonderful album that contains many different elements and diverse things. It is even the only album in which Shu has the least number of songs composed by him, which is also, I think, a crucial and interesting aspect. I always enjoy the experimentation and like the difference in style which comes in by the other band members, because I do think they all have a pretty nice hand in composing, not only in like playing, right? It's always a highlight if there is some interesting new things coming in. So I truly believe that this album, they have reached the pinnacle of harmony and creativity on all levels, and it's truly unfortunate that it will be the last album from that wonderful era. Well, if it wasn't the last album, we couldn't appreciate that era as we do today, I guess, and it's certainly a worthy closure of that era. But we don't want to reach too far in the future for now. Let's just take a look at the lyrics. I think at least due to the aggression emerging from this song, it shouldn't be a surprise that it is in English. Sometimes I have the feeling that they especially like to use Japanese for more softer or emotional songs. Not that this type of extreme aggression wouldn't be an emotion, but I hope you know what I mean. Take the flag and the blast of hell, on Judgment Day you'll fear the time to die. This really gives strong callbacks to the very beginning, almost as if they were trying to find their roots again with Galneryus, but this time in a very more nuanced and polished way with everything they've gathered over the years. And we have the flags again, and this is also the stuff they sing together pretty much. From the sea I just feel the dirty lump. Nobody can prevent the pollution. Potential hatred will choke me to death. This relation is spoiled by this fact. So you really get this feeling of, you know, being swarmed by some dark energy. They've called it, you know, dirty lump pollution here. Potential hatred will choke me to death. It's interesting that they put in potential here. It's not actual hatred, it's potential. I kind of feel it coming. I feel that it's either approaching or it can emerge at any time. And this will choke me certainly to death. This relation is spoiled by this fact. I don't know what they mean with relation, but we might find out. Keep the trust even if we can fall in hell. Before all of the hope is over by the blast of hell. Okay, that's the chorus. Keep trust even if we just lose our way. Don't be blind, take the ride. We go against the blast of hell. Yeah, we go against the blast of hell. This is what I mentioned, how the verse sounded like, how Yamabi delivers his lines, and just this blast coming at you. That's just very nicely portrayed. As I mentioned, the chorus sounds a bit rushed and lazy, so it's more a quick fix. We sing our war songs together and we just have to gather our strength to withstand this blast of hell. We have lived through so many struggles in the past and we have learned so much from it that we can kind of just rely on that for a bit. We don't get blown away. I think at the very beginning, like of the Galneryus saga, if one can call it like that, they would probably just have been blown away by the blast of hell and the song would have never happened in that way, which is kind of also funny to think about, I guess. Take attention, somebody aims at you. Don't touch the lump, the concealed evilness. Take attention, we'll see the blast of hell calling on you. Don't look back tonight. So that's the post-chorus, how I called it. Somebody aims at you. We don't know who or what, but something is out there to get you. Don't touch the lump, the concealed evilness, the dirty lump, right? It's there, but you should avoid it at all costs. It conceals something sinister. We're not yet aware of what it exactly is, but we know we shouldn't touch it. We'll see the blast of hell calling on you. Don't look back tonight. I think there's also an element of allure, like in the sense that, you know, the blast of hell is also calling on you. Don't look back. It's almost as if there was a certain temptation to actually follow the call. On Judgment Day, you'll fear the time to die, a merciless crime, so we'll never forget. Pray for the victims. I curse my fate. This relationship is spoiled by this fact. There's a lot of negativity in this. I don't get a very clear picture what the implications are. Yeah, there's a crime, there's victims. We're talking about a judgment day when you have to die. I curse my fate. Yeah, at least we have, again, a certain catastrophic event approaching in the future. Chorus again, keep the faith. Even if we can fall in hell, we can survive the crisis of life. It's the blast of hell. Keep the faith, even if we just lose our way. Never lose hope of your life. Go against the blast of hell. Never lose hope. Although it was a pretty intense blast of hell, I must say. Take attention, somebody aims at you. Don't touch the lump, the concealed evilness. Take attention, we'll see the blast of hell calling on you. Don't look back tonight. Then we have twice the post-chorus again, without any changes. Keep the trust even if we can fall in hell. Before all of the hope is over by the blast of hell. Keep the trust even if we just lose our way. Don't be blind, take the ride. We go against the blast of hell. Don't be blind, take the ride. First of all, it rhymes. Nice. But then also, we have a certain progression here. In the beginning, I think there was a lot more resistance and we have to be careful about this, and we still have to, but this don't be blind, take the ride is also a certain accepting element, which this has turned into. You have to still take on what's coming at you. You cannot close your eyes. You cannot close off. This is not the right way to go about this. This is pretty much what has been learned throughout all of these albums. And again, we have a lot of this post-chorus. At the end, we have them singing this thing together again. Take the flag in the blast of hell. On Judgment Day, you'll fear the time to die. You must take the flag in the blast of hell. Can you feel the pain? Oh, that's the wicked last line. There's really nothing left to be wished for here. Enjoyed this quite a lot. Who wrote Blast of Hell? It was written by Yamabi and Shu. They're definitely trying out stuff here and it seems to work. So then we're finished for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the song. I'm gonna immediately put this into my playlist and we're gonna hopefully meet next week.